Living on a ranch in Texas, I had thought my days of dealing with ridiculous HOA nonsense were long behind me. Out here, the land stretches for miles, neighbors are spread far apart, and most folks keep to themselves. Unfortunately, there's always one exception, and in my case, it came in the form of Karen, the self-appointed enforcer of our small rural HOA. Karen had a reputation for sticking her nose where it didn't belong. She had already harassed other neighbors over things like non-compliant barns, wrong-colored horse trailers, and even fined a guy for stacking hay too high. But when she set her sights on me, she made the biggest mistake of her life. You see, while most people thought I was just a quiet rancher, I actually worked with the FBI. My ranch doubled as a secure storage site for evidence in high-level investigations. The safe in my barn wasn't holding gold bars or family heirlooms. It was holding classified equipment and seized contraband. Of course, nobody in the neighborhood knew that. Well, until Karen decided she was entitled to my treasures. It started with little comments. Karen would show up uninvited at my gate, leaning on it like she owned the place. "That's quite the big safe you've got in your barn," she once said, smirking. "Bet it's full of cash or jewelry. Must be nice." I shrugged her off, told her it was just for ranch paperwork, but I could see her gears turning. Curiosity mixed with greed, dangerous in her hands. A week later, I noticed footprints near my barn door. At first, I thought it was just kids wandering around, but then I saw clear pry marks on the lock. Somebody had tried to force their way in. I didn't need to guess who, so I set up hidden cameras and reinforced the door. If Karen wanted to play games, I'd let her dig her own grave. The following Saturday, around noon, Karen strutted onto my property in broad daylight. My cameras caught everything. Her sneaking into the barn, fiddling with the safe, and finally pulling out a crowbar from her oversized tote bag. Here's where things went from stupid to insane. She actually called 911 on herself. Apparently, when she couldn't crack the safe, she panicked and decided to play victim. "This is Karen Miller," she told dispatch, fake tears in her voice. "My neighbor has an illegal weapons safe on his property. I think he's hiding drugs and guns. He's dangerous." So not only was she breaking in, she was trying to frame me. The sheriff's deputies arrived first, sirens blaring down my driveway. By the time I came out to greet them, Karen was already crying dramatically near the barn, claiming she had discovered my safe and feared for the community's safety. The deputies looked confused, but before I could even explain, two unmarked black SUVs rolled up behind them. My FBI team had been monitoring the cameras I installed and recognized what was happening. Karen froze when 4 agents stepped out in suits, badges in hand. "Ma'am," one agent said firmly, "you've just attempted to break into a federally secured evidence container. You are under arrest for burglary, tampering with federal property, and filing a false police report." Karen's jaw dropped. "What? No, I was protecting the neighborhood. He's the criminal." The deputies just shook their heads. They'd seen this movie before. Karen was cuffed and hauled off screaming, swearing she would sue everyone. Of course, her threats meant nothing. Federal charges don't just go away. Word spread fast around the community. Suddenly, everyone who had been terrorized by Karen's petty HOA rules came forward with complaints. Her reign of control crumbled overnight. As for me, I went back to tending my horses, knowing I wouldn't be hearing from her again. Last I heard, she was facing years behind bars and massive fines, all because she thought she was clever enough to rob my jewelry safe. Too bad she robbed the FBI instead.